How does a scientific institution define itself? Stanford Earth, one of Stanford University's scientific institutions, values things like excellence, collaboration, accountability, and respect. Similarly, Fermilab's Muon department has a value statement that includes ideas like professionalism, trust, collaboration, and sharing. CU Boulder has also values expressed in the Colorado Creed, which includes values such as honor, integrity, accountability, respect, and contributing to the greater good. We at JILA are beginning a process to create similar values for our own institution, and we want your help. At JILA, we value the voice of each JILan, and we encourage you to share your own voice by providing your thoughts to help us better understand the values that are important to JILA. To choose the values that best define JILA, we ask for an hour of your time to participate in a group activity where you and other JILans will have a guided opportunity to share your thoughts and input by discussing and identifying the values that you think should guide JILA in the future. Your community representative, or community rep, will guide the activity to ensure all are heard and to encourage broad and open discussions. In this activity, you will get a scenario where you can see your values happening in real life. This helps to make the values more concrete and illustrates the ways in which JILA may use these values in the future. The group activity will result in a list of values from you and the other groups, to be combined. The list of combined values will be presented at a value summit to be scheduled shortly after all the input groups have met. There we will have additional discussion and input. The JILA Fellows will use all this information to contribute to setting the JILA values to guide JILA moving forward. Here to answer some of your questions about the Values Project is JILA COO Beth Kroger.
That's a good question, and I have had a lot of JILans ask me about that. Why are we doing this, and why are we spending time on this? And I think the best thing is to say that it's about creating a common understanding of what it is to be at JILA and how we expect to work with each other and the things that are most important to us. And so values are a defining statement that tells us really who we are, both for us, but also for maybe grad students who are looking for a place to continue their work, or postdocs, fellows, staff. It just helps present to the external community, here's who we are and the things that we think are important here, and also internally so that we're all more on the same page. I'm not quite sure how it will impact on a day-to-day basis, but here's what I can envision. I can envision us saying one of our values is productivity, just say, if that's what comes up. And, well, what does that mean? There's a lot of ways you can define what productivity means, and so one of the important things once we have our values is to understand that translation into action and how what that really means. So productivity at the expense of people? No, I don't think that that's what JILA wants, but we need to clarify that so that if there ever comes an issue, we can say, well, JILA's talking about productivity in this way. And this is how it translates to how we act with each other, the expectations that we have, our policies and procedures and systems, all of that is shaped by the values that we have in place. And I just want to say one other quick thing about the Values Project is to clarify that the values are for the Institute of JILA. The JEDI group, which is JILA Excellence in Diversity and Inclusivity, has led this effort and retained Reagan Bird as our accountability consultant to lead this because she has experience in helping institutions set values. But I do want to be clear that these values are not limited to JEDI types of issues. It's for the JILA Institute. So one might imagine that our values come up as collaboration. That's a scientific research value that JILA was founded on, and that may be one of the things that come up from this process. And so I have had quite a few questions about how does the JEDI Values Project work with JILA, and I just want to clarify that this is a JILA-wide Institute Values Project, not limited to JEDI and JEDI efforts. That's cool. You don't have to participate if you don't want to. But what we're hoping is that you register your voice. And we'll have a few different ways to do that. We have trained some community representatives so that they can facilitate some group processes. We're also hoping to have some open sessions for any JILAN who wants to participate. And we'll also find a way for people who don't really want to have an in-person kind of participation. We'll find a way for those JILANs to say, here's what I think JILA values and should value. Because the more people who provide input into the process, the better data we have to understand everybody's perspective so that we can come up with values that really represent what JILA is. And ultimately, the JILA fellows, using all of this input, are going to determine the values, because they do set the direction and mission for the JILA Institute. But they're not going to do it in a non-transparent way, and they're going to do that with your input. So the more input you give, the better they will understand your perspective and your point of view. We're hoping that we can get through the input phase in August or maybe into September, depending on how scheduling works. We don't want to have it be too short of a time because we do want everyone to participate, but we also want to get it done so that we can move on and move ahead with understanding and clarifying what our values are.
We hope that this video was clarifying in why JILA needs a set of values and how important it is for each of you to personally get involved and participate. We hope that you join us in creating the core values that define our JILA community and look forward to seeing you at the community group sessions.